Appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Bama, Texas A&M. Of course, the Aggies pulled off one of the major upsets in college football last year. This game has been talked about throughout the offseason, but the Aggies disappointing thus far. We got Steve Merrill on the line, as we always do, to break it down for us. And check out Steve's selections on all our team channels. So it's not just here on this particular Alabama channel, but on all the channels you get Steve's analysis. And, of course, every day on wagertalk.com. Check out Steve there. Texas A&M and Bama, and with all that talent, Texas A&M still a 24-point dog with a struggling offense in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see the difference between the look-ahead lines over the summer for these big anticipated matchups and then the real betting line. And the look-ahead line was about 17 this summer. Alabama about a 17-point favorite. Now it is around 24. In fact, it would be even higher if we had more certainty, obviously, at the quarterback position. Is my math model, who really is just looking at the results on the field this season, would favor Alabama by 33 points in this game. Now, obviously, we have to bump that down a bit, but it just shows the difference between the summer line, the current line, and the full healthy Bryce Young line, which would have been like 33. Tough to go against Bama in a focus spot. I think they're the best team in the country right now. They have moved into number one finally. Last week, though, a little bit of a misleading 23-point win. I mean, that game was obviously close for a while, and they had some explosive touchdowns late to cover that 17-point line, but they got it done. And even with the quarterback uncertainty here, they're still an explosive offensive team. A&M, I'm just not sure they have the offense to keep up. They're averaging 6 yards per play this year, but they faced opponents that allow 6.1, so that's actually a below-average offense statistically. And now they're facing an Alabama defense that's given up 3.6 yards per play this season. Bama's gotten a lot more explosive in recent years, but their defense is really, really good this year. That's what the numbers like Georgia was giving up last year, 3.5 yards per play. Georgia's given up like 4.7 this year. So that shows why I do think they deserve to pass Georgia in the rankings. Focus spot, a lot of offseason talk between these coaches, obviously Fisher and Saban. So it's hard to imagine Alabama would take their foot off the gas. They do have a huge game at Tennessee next week, but this is the SEC. There's always huge games every week before and after. And it'll be interesting to see how Bama plays here. This line is really in between what the summer line was going to be and what my power ratings say. 17 this summer. My power ratings say 33 now healthy. It's 24. Hard to fade Bama here, especially if A&M gets behind. I'm just not sure they can catch up and get that backdoor cover.
Get Steve's Under the Radar selection right on Patreon, on our Patreon community there at the Voice of College Football. Search Mark Rogers TV. And, of course, Wager Talk. Every day, wagertalk.com with Steve's money management plan and his lines for the NFL, Major League Baseball, and all the major sports. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Mark.